So today in the shop, we have a 2013 Ford F-350. That the customer brought in because he wanted to get a little bit more power out of it. Now before I break into kind of what we all did to this one, just want to put a disclaimer out there that if you tamper with any emissions equipment, it is a violation of federal law. So we put that out there. This truck will only see closed courses. So basically, we did a DPF delete, intake and exhaust, and then break into that a little bit more and explain what is a DPF delete, what is an intake, what is an exhaust. A few of those most people are comfortable with as far as what they do, but to kind of give you guys an idea of what a DPF delete really is, what an EGR block-off kit does, and kind of what the benefits to having then a 5-inch turbo back exhaust would be. So as you see here with some shiny new parts that we got on here, we got a no limit intake system, and then we did a Sinister Diesel EGR Delete. All right, so basically the EGR Delete comes with a few different block off plates, and now what those do in short is essentially block exhaust gases from re-entering the engine, which in turn causes lower exhaust gas temperatures and allows the turbo to spool up a little bit quicker. So the EGR manifold is actually this piece that's sitting here in the back of the truck now. So this is typically what your EGR slash DPF delete will look like once it's all out of the truck. Now the DPF delete, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, what's a DPF delete? Well, a DPF filter in itself is a diesel particulate filter, and what that does is it's a honeycomb structure that kind of catches soot as it comes through the exhaust pipe. And then what the truck then does is runs a regeneration cycle, which essentially adds unburned diesel fuel to the exhaust, which in turn will cause lower emissions and burn up the soot that gets accumulated inside the honeycomb filter, so to speak, inside the exhaust. If you want to roll coal or piss off your neighbors or the guy sitting at the light next to you with his window down in a 92 Miata, then you do the DPF delete and put it on your smoke tune and wreck their day. The EGR though, what that is this is what we're deleting with the EGR. So basically it's a coolant manifold that then cools down exhaust gases going into the engine, which then lowers exhaust gas temperatures coming out the back. And like I said before, when you lower any internal temperatures, whether it be intake air temperature or exhaust gas temperature, your engine's gonna perform better right off the bat. So by removing this big heavy chunk here and replacing it with those two block off plates, you're actually recirculating your coolant too a little bit quicker, which will then also give you a lower coolant temperature, which in the grand scheme of things, a lower temperature is always better with everything. That's why typically you'll see people put upgraded radiators or larger intercoolers on any turbo forced induction setup. When you do the EGR block off kit in conjunction with an intake, in conjunction with the DPF delete, as well as a turbo back exhaust, you really maximize the power of a turbo diesel engine. So I mean, it doesn't look like too much obviously from the outside when you're explaining, hey, what a DPF delete is, but realistically what it is it's all internal, it's all under the hood, under the truck. Now the one thing that a lot of the aftermarket performance guys can't really go on record and say, hey, this is actually gonna give you a lot better gas mileage. But in fact, after doing a DPF delete with an EGR block off in the intake, this customer may actually potentially see better fuel mileage off-road, because again, this can't be ran on road, but for the days out in the field and all that with the trucks, you'll get that better mileage, you'll get more horsepower, and to be honest, these things sound wicked once you take the DPF out of there. So we'll fire it up here real quick, kind of give you guys a little sneak peek of what the exhaust sounds like before the customer gets here and checks it out himself. Well, I got an alignment I got to get back to, make sure this customer's driving straight down the road, so you guys have a great rest of your day. And like I said, be sure to call, click, or stop on in for any more questions.